All right, guys, looks like we are back live now for part 3 of our Status Pro Advanced World Series 1970 Game 1 here. We're in the top of the 8th inning, and we have a 6-4 Cincinnati lead. 5 runs in the second, a run in the 7th, put Cincinnati up 6-4, and due up for the Baltimore Orioles. In the 8th inning will be their 1, 2, 3 hitters, and soon nothing happens in the 8th. The 9th inning, it'll be their 4, 5, and 6 hitters. So they have a chance of this. Here's kind of the breakdown of where we stand and what's going on. We have Clay Carroll, who's come in to pitch the 7th inning. He's going to stay in and pitch the 8th inning. And then, assuming they get through that, we'll have closer come in the 9th. And that's where we stand, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Clay Carroll is actually +1. He does lose a point for coming in every inning. You come in, your relievers, they lose a point. He's actually a +1 on his stats, so instead of a 2-7, he's a 2-8 against lefties. Instead of 2-9 against righties, he's a 2-10. So he's having a good pitching performance. He rolled well on that. And facing off against him still in the bottom of the 8th inning, Marcelino Lopez, for the O's. So we'll see what happens here. Just 6 short outs to get, and Cincinnati can take a 1-0 lead in the 1970 World Series. Let's see what Don Buford does. First thing, we need a PB number, and that is going to be and 9. So he's going to be batting left. So 2-8. So it's actually coming off of Don Buford's card. Don Buford's card, we need a random number. It is a 47 against a right-hander. 47 is going to be a walk. So good way to start off with the walk for the O's. That brings up Paul Blair. Let's go back and look at Don Buford. He is a B Steeler. No, I think they'll just let it roll there. They'll bring in Paul Blair. Paul Blair is a righty, so on a 2-10, it will be off of Clay Carroll's card. It is a 8, so it's off of Clay Carroll, and the random number is an 88. That is as high as you can get. It's going to be an out. Let's find out what kind of out. He is an RN. RN is an GX5. Let's look at GX5 with the runner on it first. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see a GX5 with the runner on first. That's a 5-4 play, and the batter reaches first. Okay? So only plays at second. So he is out at second. Don Buford's out at second, and on the fielder's choice, he's on first base. So the walk actually is going to drop him down to a 5. I forgot to do that. And we got to check for an error. I got to remember to do that. So on the fielder's choice, let's look for, is there an error? Flip the 17-20, no error. As I mentioned, highest error rating we have is going to be a 8 for Tony Perez or an 8 for Frank Robinson. Everybody else is much lower than that, so no error on the play. So one away, runner still at first for Bog Powell. Bog Powell hit a home run last time up, which gave the O's 2 runs in the 6th inning. So let's see, Bog Powell against Clay. He is a lefty, so 2-8. It's a CD, so we're going to look for a CD rating. He is an LP, so let's look under the LP section. That's going to be a G6. 6, which is a shortstop, is Woody Woodward. He is an error rating, a CD rating of 5. Oh, that's a worst spot to hit it to. Because he has a great great, well, there we go, error chart. So now we need to find out what kind of error it is. So we're going to look here. It's going to be an infield error, so let's flip a card. It is an error 1. Error 1 on a GX5. No, it's not an error check. It's a CD check. Sorry. It's a CD check. Do I not have that chart out? I must not have that chart out. Yeah, it'll be in here. We can always get it from this. All right, so we need to look for, that's error chart. Here they are. All right, so we're going to rotate this clockwise. So we have a third shortstop, and he is a 5 rating. So over here, we're going to roll a random number, and that number happens to be a 18. So let's look at 18. So 11 to 18 is going to be leap and grab for a line dive. Lead runner doubled off, batter out, all other runners hold. So a great play there by the shortstop, Woody Woodward, on the ball hit, grabs it, and then the lead runner is doubled off as Paul Blair starts running to second, tries to turn around and get back to first in time. No, sir. Thrown out by Woody Woodward on the, let's see, that is going to be a 6-3 double play. 6-3 double play. Oops. 6-3 double play, 2 stars. And that's going to end the inning for Baltimore. So going into the bottom of the 8th inning, it will be Marcelino Lopez against Tommy Helms. Marciano Lopez is actually he's a 0 rating. So he will not have any bonuses, no bonuses. So it'll use his normal PB stats there. So Marciano Lopez against Tommy Helms. It's a 5, so it's coming off of Lopez's card as a right-hander. Yeah, 2 to 8. And now, oh yeah, he loses a point for coming in this inning. There we go. And now we need a random number. It's a 35 off of his card. 35 against the right-hander. 35. It's going to be a strikeout. 32 to 44 is a strikeout, so that's a K. That brings up Woody Woodward, who just made that great play. He also has a double in the game, a strikeout in the 6th, and a fly ball. I'm sorry, a liner to first in the 4th inning. So Woody Woodward playing good defense for the Red Legs against Marciano Lopez. PB number is 7. He is a righty. That is going to be for Lopez. Random number 76. That's going to be an out. What kind of out is it? It's an RN. It's an F7 out. So F7 star. And that brings up the pitcher spot. Well, we know Clay Carroll is not going to be pitching any longer. So they can bring in a pinch hitter. Dave Concepcion. I think we might do Dave Concepcion. Let's do it. So coming in the bottom of the 8th, Dave Concepcion is coming in the 8th inning to face off against Marciano Lopez. So, PB number of 7. He is a right-hander, so it's coming off of Lopez. Random number, ooh, it's 11. That's not good. It's an infield hit for Dave Concepcion. That is an S1. Got to check for an error, and 10 to 20. Nope, too high. Too high. So no error on the play. And we can slide this back over. So 2 away, Concepcion on first. That brings up Pete Rose. And Pete's random number is a 5, so it's coming into Lopez's card. Random number is 47. 47 is a walk against, actually, yes, he would be batting right-handed this time, so 47 is a walk. And that's going to move Concepcion onto second base. And that's going to drop Marciano Lopez out because he would have lost, he would have lost 1 for Concepcion's hit and now the walk, so he's down to 0. So Marciano Lopez day is going to be done. We need a pitcher, not a belly itcher. All right, well, this is going to take a minute so we can Status Pro Baseball, 1970, and Baltimore. All right, so let's look through and see what we have going on here. There's a right-handed Dave Leonard. It's only 2-4 versus right-handers. Let's see who's up. Due up is going to be Tolan, which is a lefty, a righty Perez, and a righty Benz. So lefty, righty, righty. Let's see here. Dave McNally. Dave McNally, he's a left-hander. You know what? Baltimore might just bring in. Might as well bring her closer in. If Pete Rickard. Because if you don't score 2 in the 9th, it's over anyways. All right, so Pete Rickard's coming in. Pete. R-I-C-H-E-R-T. Pete Rickard. He'll be facing off against, let's see here. We'll put them as purple. That's fine. So you can see here, Pete Rickard, color code where his first batter is. All right, now we need to roll on our chart to see. I actually have a new chart for us in the Cincinnati folder. Here's our here's our deep fly and stadium check. Here we go. That is not it. Yes, it is. Riverfront Stadium. There it is. All right. So PB adjustment for Pete Rickard. We need a random number, please. And the random number is 65. Riverfront Stadium 65 is going to be no adjustments. So he's going to be just normal. Pete Rickard against Bobby Tolan. 2 runners on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Bobby Tolan is a lefty, so 2-7 will be off of Pete Rickard. It is a 9, so it's off of Bobby Tolan. And he's a left-hander, so got to use the left-hand side. So it's a 31 on the left-hand side. 31, wow, that's going to be a single. 1B9 base runners. 1B9. So it's hit a single, single to right field. Runner on. Let's see, we have runner on second. So single to outfielder, runner on second. Additional modifier +1. If it was hit to center field, it's not. The runner on second happens to be Dave Concepcion. We don't have his stats. There his stats are. He is an OBR of A. You don't get much better than that. So 1-58, he'll score on the play. 61-78, he'll be out. He'll just go to third base. We need a random number, please, and it is 27. That's going to score Dave Concepcion all the way from first. And he is home on the hit. A single. And Pete Rose now on first base. So single to right fielder, runner on first, single off the batter's card. That is he's on first. So Pete Rose is a B Raider. So we're looking at this column 1-58. He'll go first to third. Let's see. Random number is 88. So no, he just goes to second on the single. All right, so that is going to cost Pete Rickard has, he's only got a 4. Wow. So starts with 4, but he lost 1 on the hit. He does not lose 1 for the runner coming in because that was not his. So he's down to a 3 right off the bat. All right. So that Bobby Tolan with the big single there. That means runners. Let's see. Oops. I keep putting that in the wrong spot. So second on the hit. So you have a runner on first and second. Run in. Dave Concepcion comes in to give Cincinnati just that little bit extra cushion. That brings up Tony Perez. He is a righty. It's a 5, so it's coming off of Pete Rickard's card, and the random number is 66. That's an out. What kind of out is it? It's an RP. RP is an F5 with runners at first and second. So we're going to look at the out chart. That's an F5. F5 with runners on first and second. So we're looking at this column, and we're looking at the F5. It's just an F, first and second. Fly ball, F5. Fly ball to third, infield, pop fly. Nobody advances on it. Okay, so I just wanted to double check that. So there's an F5 for the second out. That brings up Johnny Bench. 2 away here, runners at first and second. Johnny Bench is a right-hander. And we have a 6, so it's coming off of Pete Rickard's card. And I didn't see if it actually rolled the number. Yeah, because it must do, because I think the last number was 5, so it's a 17. That, against the right-hander, is going to be a strikeout. Look at that. 11-46 is a strikeout against right-handers. Wow, I thought that 11 was going to be trouble against left-handers, it would have been, but not against right-handers. Pete Rickard does well against righties. So strikeout for Johnny Bench to end the inning. That's a K. Oops. But more importantly, they have two hits, 1 run on 2 hits. And going into the top of the 9th inning, we have us a 7-4 ball game. Coming in to pitch for Cincinnati is going to be who's their closer? Cincinnati, I forget. Let's see if we can find him. Closer, yes. Don Gullett. Closer is rated yes. So we're going to bring in Don Gullett. Coming into the 9th inning. And we'll just and we'll make those some pretty colors. We'll use an orange there. All right, we'll just facing off against the 4, 5, and 6. Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, and Elrod Hendricks due up. Now we got to find out how well of a his oh, where's my little chart? I guess I should have left my damn chart open. Here it is. So we're going to look and see how well Dave Gullett is pitching today. Riverfront Stadium. We need a random number, please, and go. 37 is going to be just 21 to 78 is going to be a normal. So no adjustment for Gullett. So he is down to a no adjustment for the home pitcher. And we could just take that out. There we go. No adjustment for the home pitcher. So whatever's on his card. Oops, wrong side. That side. So 2 to 9 against lefties, 2 to 7 against right-handers. Due up, Frank Robinson. He is a right-hander, so 2 to 7 to be off of Gullett. Let's see. It is it's a defensive check here. He is an RP, so we need the RP. That's a shortstop again. We know that's Woody Woodard, the best in the business here. CD check of 5. That's gonna hurt. It's gonna be hard. There it is. Shortstop. We need a random number, please. It is 44. 44 is 31 to 54. Grounder drilled up the middle, cut off. 6-3 double play if runners on first, or lead runner out trying to advance if less than 2 outs. Well, it's just going to be a simple G6 because there's nobody on base right now. So, unfortunately, he makes another great defensive play, and I marked the wrong section, marked the wrong spot. This one, I'd marked this spot as this, but we need the 9th inning. So great defensive play. I believe that is Woody Woodard's third, second. I know it's at least 2, but it might be 3 great defensive plays that he's made. And that's going to be just a G6 out. That brings up Brooks Robinson. 2 outs to go here. He is a righty. It's 11 is coming off a Brooks Robinson card. Random number 64 against the left-hander. 64 is an out. What kind of out is it? It's an RN. It's a G5 out. G5 out. They're down in their last out here. Eldrock Hendricks. He's a lefty. They might actually pinch hit for him. Try to get a righty in here. So they can have a better chance at getting it on the batter's card. So Eldrock Hendricks is the catcher, though. Who is Baltimore's backup catcher? What a great question. Jeez. Baltimore. Let's just start flipping through the cards until we get... Oh, here's a catcher. He's a 4E8. Let's see here. Andy Etchenbarren. Just slightly better against left-handers than Hendricks does. So we are going to make a substitution here. I guess we don't have to do catcher for catcher. We could do a different batter, actually. And then if we do get 2 runs, then we can always put him in for Elrod Hendricks. But he does pretty decent against left-handers, actually. So, he actually had more starts. You can see here, starts 44 versus left-handers, only 19 versus right-handers. So we're going to make the replacement here. So we need to insert here, and taking over for Eldron Hendricks, assuming he can keep the game alive. And he's coming in the 9th inning. Catcher. All right, so here it comes down to Andy Etchenbarren, which bats right, 2-7. It's on Don Gullett's card. It's a 9, so it's coming off Etchenbarren's. He'll be on the left-hand side because the pitcher is a left-handed. The random number is 58. 58 is an out. What kind of out is it? It is, he is an RN. RN is an L6, liner to short, and is there an error on the play? No error on the play, and that will end the game. L6, star, L6 star, and no runs there for Baltimore. So Cincinnati Reds win game number 1, October 10th, 1970, against the Baltimore Orioles, 7-4. Big 5th run inning in the 2nd here. Scores, score. And there's the scores. And they had one here, which was that run. So the second inning was a single, a line out, a single, a double, a walk, a single, a double, and then finally a ground out to end the inning. It was not a good inning for Jim Palmer, who takes the loss. And Gary Nolan pitched well, went all the way to the 7th inning. So 6 innings. He pitched all of these guys. He gave up a total of, let's see here, a home run in the 3rd inning, a walk. Runner got on with an error, a single and a home run, and a double. So he gave up 4 hits, 2 home runs, a single, and a double was the only thing given up. The relievers came in, and look at that, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So relieving the game for Cincinnati was Clay Carroll, came in the 7th, pitched the 7th and the 8th, and then, of course, Don Gullett in the 9th. So relieving, the bullpen came in and did their job and held Baltimore scoreless, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. So that is game number 1 of the World Series from 1970 in Status Pro Baseball here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know it's been kind of a long episode, getting things worked out here with this. There are a lot of charts to keep track of, and of course the flipper and everything. As I mentioned previously in one of my other episodes, you can use dice. If you do not want to use the flipper, there is a card, or there is a sheet that changes everything into just dice. So if you wanted to use dice as opposed to the flipper, which for me, being on the computer, might be okay, because using the flippers, it's been okay. It's just hard to, when I click off of something else and then I come back here, the first click I do, it doesn't necessarily roll anything. So I have to make sure I watch the numbers, because sometimes I feel like the number here doesn't always switch. See, it went from 8 to 8 again. And it went from 7 to 7 again. But you saw the rest of the numbers flip. So that's why I kind of try to watch down here, because these numbers usually switch. Something in here usually switches. So there we go. But then I got to look back up here. Anyways, that is game number 1 from Riverfront Stadium, 1970, October 10th. The Cincinnati Reds, final score, Baltimore 4, Cincinnati Reds 7. Final line goes Baltimore 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 error. Cincinnati 7 runs on 11 hits, 1 error. And moving on to game number 2, Cincinnati takes a 1-0 lead in the 1970 World Series. Thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate everyone. Be sure to leave your thoughts or comments or suggestions on YouTube there, and let me know if you see something. If I've done something wrong or if I'm misreading something or whatever, let me know. And we'll see if we can get another game of the 1970 World Series out for you guys sometime soon. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Talk to you next time.